Welcome to Be Elevate, the podcast where voices rise, stories matter, and our community takes center stage. This is episode 2 of our season on local legends, and we are here with a very talented and special guest, a singer, songwriter, and performer recognized for his soulful vocals from our very own Slough, Nate Simpson.
Hello.
Join us as we dive into his journey, challenges, and success. But before that,
today we have prepared a pasta salad with vegetables and tuna, paired with some chicken inside the AJ Cafe. Would you like to rate your first bites?
Shall I do that?
Yeah.
All right. I was saying I just went for lunch already, so I'm full up. But I will, you can't. What shall I try first?
Chicken.
The chicken.
Chicken.
Is this handmade? If it's not, you can just lie.
I was in the kitchen.
Amazing. Great stuff.
Lovely to hear it.
Yeah.
so let's just get right to it. Our first question for you is, what was life like growing up in Slough?
I feel like I've got food in my mouth that I need to finish first. Life in Slough was it was a very unique experience. I come from a Caribbean heritage, and a lot of my grandparents' friends all migrated to Slough because of the trading estate around the same time in the 50s and 60s. Because of that, there was such a community that we had where we all knew each other in some ways, or in somewhat, I would feel, an undertone of accountable to each other. So it feels like there was definitely a strong sense of community. I had a great set of friends, and we were playful, and lots of bike riding, lots of being young and fun. I just had great memories here. Growing up, I went to Scouts here, I went to church here, and they were all the forming things that gave me my character of who I am today.
That's great. So what was the impact of that Caribbean influence on that familial bonds?
Everything. It forms you. For me, it was very informative in terms of music, for one. Sense of family, sense of belonging, sense of, there's that saying, if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. And that initially were the things that gave me the inspiration to figure out who I was and where I wanted to be in life.
So coming back here must bring back memories.
Yeah, I was just talking to my mum about it. It's, so many people that have passed on, family members, family friends. It's weird, like now I don't live here anymore, so on a day-to-day basis, I don't think about those things as much, but coming back here just kind of brings it home, and you just think, all those memories, and it reminds you of what life is all about. We're here for a reason.
Definitely.
And to live in our purpose, whatever your purpose is to fulfill that, and then from there, we're no longer here. So it's about making the most of the time that we have
here,
whilst we are here.
Life is so short, and you just have to make the most of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Who and what influenced your love into music?
When I was about 5 years old, maybe younger, 4, my dad brought home a cassette tape of Bob Marley, and I loved it. I just loved the way that He sang and told stories from his heart, wrote music that was meaningful. And I come from a family which they all love music. So outside of, that, my grandparents would always be listening to music around the house. I'd always look forward to going to my grandparents' house because I knew that good music was going to be playing and we'd have a dance, and so that was my upbringing. And it was a lot of soul music and R&B music, but also a lot of Caribbean influenced music, so like soca and calypso and reggae, and yeah, my love came directly from that. Yeah.
So what's your favorite Bob Marley song?
Wait in Vain.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
So when did music stop being something you enjoyed and you had, but like something you wanted to pursue as a career?
Music is something that I enjoy to this day. It's my best friend. It's my true love. It's my comforter, my therapist. It's not my job. I don't have a job. It's my love. So I knew that it's something that I wanted to make money from. When I was about 15 and I was leaving school, I wanted to study business in college. And at the time, I just knew that my love for music and my awareness for what I believed it was doing in my life was becoming more and more heightened. And I thought, I only want to do this forever. So I went to singing lessons, and I said to my singing teacher, I said, I want to do this for a career. What do you think? And she said, you've got the talent, just keep working at it. It was quite vague. I was like, you're not giving me much. But I was like, okay, well, I'll take that. And from there, I just, I worked hard at it. I still work hard at it to this day. I practice several hours every week. Because I love it, I don't see it as practice, but I'm always at the piano. I'm always learning new music. I'm a big fan of jazz, and expanding who I am and what I am as a musician is at the core of my soul.
So was there a moment when you felt like your career reached a new stage, was finally taking off from just like humble beginnings to something more?
Yeah. No. It's been a gradual process.
It's been a journey.
Even this particular year, there's so many things that are happening that I'm blown away by, that I always wanted to do, and I'm doing them. Touring, having a headline tour around Europe of a show that I produced myself. Doing a show this weekend at the Jazz Cafe. Playing Ronnie Scott's very famous venues that I grew up, going to gigs at, and hearing my song on BBC Radio 1. Like, there's been gradual things over the years that it's just been it's like building blocks,
Definitely.
And you just keep going because you're like, okay, cool, well, next. Kind of thing.
And so we have to ask, since you've been on X Factor, we have to ask about your experience on that show. Was it truly what we see, watching it from our seats? How was it for you?
I'm always very careful how I answer this question, because I had a great experience. That's not to invalidate anyone else's experience. It changed my life. Now, to be real, it's a TV show. So they have an idea of what they want and they make that happen in whatever capacity they can. Let's put it like that. But the onus is on you, the individual, to make the best experience in it and after it. And I think sometimes when a lot of people complain about TV shows, reality TV shows in general, I think that they forget to take accountability of the fact that they put themselves in that space, and maybe in ignorance or whatever it is, just not acknowledging for the fact maybe they want to live in this kind of illusion of it being this thing that's going to change their life, but it's a reality TV show. And you have to accept that and understand that and do with that what you will if you choose to participate. But for me, I, I met people that my best friend for life won the show the year that I was on, and you know, and it gave me a best friend. It gave me, wider recognition around the country to be able to do my own headline shows, and etc. So yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to like what career opportunities did X Factor give you?
Well, I don't know if it gave me, but for sure, I know when I was on the show, when I came off it, the mentor that I had, or the judge that was the mentor of our category, she told me, she did musical theatre, and she said, it's a great opportunity to grow in your confidence and get experience and expand who you are as an artist and as a creative. And so I definitely say I entered the world of musical theatre as a byproduct of being on that show. And I think some agents may have taken me a bit more seriously. I definitely found, I found a manager after that, I found an agent after the show that I wouldn't have had been in the show. So I would say it gave me those opportunities for sure.
And so obviously every journey has its ups and downs. Obviously your journey was gradually, so obviously you faced challenges and difficulties. And so what were the early challenges that you faced, coming off the show or before you went on the show?
I never really faced any challenges in the sense of I believe in what I do. And so this is all I've ever done for a living. I've never had to have like another job or part-time job and backup plan. But the one challenge, quote unquote challenge, that happened more recently was about 4 years ago. I broke my leg. I shattered it from the knee down. And at the time I was in a musical in the West End, and I had to decide, what do I want to do with my life going forward? Do I want to keep, doing 8 shows a week in a West End theatre, or do I want to take kind of a bit more control of my journey? Yeah, so I knew that I wanted to take control of my path and my journey, so I decided from there that I would focus more on being an artist and doing my own shows, and that's what I've done ever since. And maybe it was a blessing in disguise, because who knows what I'd be doing if it never happened now. But because I decided to do that, so many incredible experiences that I've always dreamed of have happened. I probably wouldn't be here talking to you now had that not happened. So, yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. Amen.
How was your transition from TV to West End?
Two different animals, I would say. Being in a reality TV show, it's very fast paced. It happens so quick. You're there, then you're not there. So you just make the most of it. I guess that's the thing it has in common. When you're in well, for me, the shows I've been in, I was in there for a year, and you're in it, and then you're not in it. It comes and it goes. It's just so quick. And so for me, what I have taken from those experiences is that make the most of it and enjoy it whilst you're in it, because it's like life is so short, and those experiences are even shorter. It's like moments, snapshots in history that I'll never get back. Being in Motown, the musical, I met friends for life, and we created so many incredible memories, night after night, backstage, banter, laughing, joking, and you get used to this thing that you feel like is your life, but then it stops, and it's never going to happen again. So yeah, that's the similarity, I would say.
What pushed you to do X Factor?
I was asked to go on the show. It's quite a crazy story. So I met a lady at Hyde Park Christmas lights thing. What's it called? Where they do like the Christmas festival in Hyde Park.
Christmas Wonderland?
Wonderland.
Yeah.
That's the one. And I went to Christmas, went to Wonderland with my friends, and all singers. And this lady, she said to me, we were watching her sing. She was performing. She said, "You look like a singer." So I don't know how she got that. I got up and I sang, and with her, 'cause she asked me to. And after that, she said, "I really, you're young, and I feel like you have a bright future ahead of you, and I want to, anywhere I can help you, I will." And she took my details, and we had each other on Facebook, and it wasn't Instagram, but Facebook, and my number. And she said, "I'll be in touch if anything comes up." And 3 years later, I heard from her, and she said, well, how she put it was, Sony Music are looking for a young, talented singer, male, for a project. Would you be interested? I think you'd be great for it. So I said, yeah, sure. So I went in and I auditioned in front of a couple of people. I didn't know what it was for, and then they told me it was for the X Factor. I was kind of just catapulted a few rounds ahead from that one audition. So usually when you do the show, you have to do like a mammoth of rounds before you get to the TV rounds. But because of that audition and having met that lady, I only had to do the one, and then I got to go and audition straight for the celebrity judges.
Yeah. That's so, like, if you never would have met her, you never know what could have happened.
Exactly. That's why I say everything happens for a reason, and it's all like a path that it's been quite fascinating. And I tell you another story very similar. I was walking in Slough High Street one day, and I met a guy who was like selling perfumes and stuff. And he said to me, "Oh, what do you do?" Like, it's just like normal salesman kind of thing. I'm like, "What do you do?" And I said, "Oh, I'm a singer." And he said, "Oh, I sing a little bit on the side too." I said, "Okay." He said, "We should go for a drink sometimes." We started hanging out. We became really good friends. We started hanging out, and he introduced me to a lot of the music venues and spots. Great spots in London. But these times I wasn't really going into London that much, and we became friends. And I then went on to be on the X Factor, and he happened to be auditioning the same year with a group, but they didn't make it so far. And from that experience, his mum was a music manager, and he introduced me to his mum and said to his mum, "You should represent this guy because he's going to go far." And I met his mum from that, and she saw my clips on the X Factor, and she said, "I want to manage you." And she, to this day, I still have the same manager.
Oh, wow.
And that was 10 years ago.
You always hear stories about people, like, maybe they have managers, and then when they maybe reach like the pinnacle of success, they want to look for more rated agents and stuff like that. And so I feel like it's nice to still be so humble to understand that this person has brought you so far and continue with that person.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, yeah, there's definitely that element. And also, for me, she's like family now. We call her Mama Jack. She's like a second mum. She has my back, and she always has had my back since I met her. There's no room that I would walk in that she wouldn't fight for me. And so I appreciate that. And when I wanted to do musical theatre, she said, "Nate, well, I don't do theatre, you don't do theatre, how are we going to make this happen?" And she's like, "Actually, no, scratch that. I'm just going to reach out to them." With no experience, no contact, she just reached out on a whim. And because she believed in me. And that's how we worked. And, nowadays things are a lot different because technology and stuff. So my career, I find myself being very self-sufficient, but where she can, she really does still help.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
So reality TV, the West End, and then live shows. What skills has each of them taught you that's like essential to your success?
Stay true to who you are. Believe in who you are. And push to be the best version of yourself. don't settle for, this is who I am today. You can always, there's more. There's more that you can achieve in terms of your ability, your talent, whatever it is, or your knowledge of your chosen life path. And there's more that you can achieve in terms of getting to the next level in that chosen career. Always. Doesn't matter who you are.
Knowing that you've worked with Steve Ross in the past, would you like to be an ambassador for Love Music Hate Violence now?
Sorry, say that again?
Knowing that you worked with Steve Ross in the past, would you like to be an ambassador for Love Music Hate Violence now?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I travel a lot for work. I'm out of the country 90% of the year, so I find it very hard to commit to certain projects. But when I can, I'm a big believer in encouraging other young people, because I'm still young, hey, to be the best versions of themselves.
Speaking of projects, what's something that stuck out for you? What's your favourite project you've done so far? If you have a favourite.
Man, I don't. I really don't. They've all been very special. Just recently, I headlined a show at Jazz Cafe doing a night of a singer that you guys probably have no idea who he is. A big singer from the 90s called Britwell. And that was an incredible project to be a part of with great friends. The band was amazing. Being in the Lion King in Paris, being in Motown, being in Bob Marley, creating my own Marvin Gaye show that toured around Europe. They're all individual experiences that have given me so much. They've enriched my life, like spiritually, soulfully, mentally, beyond words. I'm very grateful.
Could you sing it for us?
No, not today.
They used to song it.
No, I'm all sung out. What do you want to hear?
One of your songs.
One of my songs?
Yeah.
Well, when I auditioned for the Bob Marley musical, I auditioned with a song of his, but we did it like a stripped back version on the piano, and it was called "Is This Love?" So the lyrics are, if I remember them, it says, "I wanna love you, love and treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every night. We'll be together with the roof right over my head. We'll share the shelter of my single bed. We'll share the same roof, for Jah provides the bread. Is this love? Is this love? Love that I'm feeling? Yeah, yeah. Is this love? Love, love that I feel? Yeah, that's Bob Marley. My version.
That was really, really good. Very talented.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us, even though you're kind of forced into it.
Yeah, that's alright. I should have known.
You can't come here and not say.
I know.
So, what advice would you give to aspiring singers in the industry today?
So interesting that you say that. I was just stopped. I was walking in Tesco's, getting something for my mom, and a young man just stopped me, and he said, oh my God, you're a singer, Nate. I said, that's me. And he asked me the same question because he sings. He's a musician, I believe. And said, can you just give me 30 seconds of some advice of what to do? And I told him, in my opinion, my humblest opinion, the best thing that anyone that is interested in music can do is to study it to its fullest degree. Understand how it works, the mechanisms from a technical and physical and spiritual component, and figure out what those things mean, how they apply to you, and really just study. I say study the greats, go to singing lessons, learn piano, learn an instrument, understand music theory, understand technique, learn how to breathe, learn what not to sing as well as what to sing. Yeah.
And did you stay motivated, and how would you advise others to stay motivated during times where they might experience rejection?
Believe in your source. If you know deep down that you've got something, I'm very connected to my spirituality, so I believe that my gift is there to bring happiness or joy or memories or tears or love or whatever it is, and impact other people in that way. And I know that, I feel that it does that for other people. I see, when I look out in the audience and I see people crying or laughing or dancing or doing whatever it is, I know that that's my purpose. And no matter what anybody else tries to project on me or tries to make me believe about it or make decisions around it for me, I know my own road, and you have to stay true to that road.
And I feel like it's such an important thing to have figured out your own role on why you're here, and to be able to follow through on that and not to allow anyone to stray you from that path, which is why it's so important to be talking to you today as young people who might not yet understand what we're here and what we're called for to do.
What do you believe you're called here for today?
Are we interviewing me now? I don't know. I feel like you never know what might come tomorrow. You never know if you might meet opportunities that come your way. And I feel like you just have to take each day the best you can and always try to be the best version of yourself.
So can I be honest? I feel like you gave me the answer that you feel like you should say, as opposed to the answer that comes true to your heart automatically. And maybe, I don't know if that's a fear or a block that you feel like you can't just say like what the thing is.
No, I genuinely don't know. I feel like there's so many things that I want to do.
What's the first one that comes to mind?
Of what I would like to do. I don't know,
because I hear you're passionate about singing.
Did I say that?
Somebody told me.
Well, I grew up in church, like you, I would say, and so I sing in church, and so that's something I would love to do in the future.
Yeah.
But I'm also academic, and I'm interested in computer science and stuff like that. But I like to read, and I do like music, but I'm not as. It's not something I've had the time to devote a lot of time to.
Would you like to?
Yes.
Why don't you? What's stopping you?
Right now? Current time? GCSEs.
Okay.
After that, I plan to spend more time studying and actually understanding more about it.
Yeah, I hear that. There's one of my favorite artists of all time, Luther Vandross. I saw an interview with him and he said that he made up his mind very young. He was also very academic. And he made up his mind very young that he was in university, and he said he realized that if he had a backup plan, he would always fall to the backup plan. So he put everything he had, every penny, every hour, working at the thing that he really decided to do, because guess what, life is short. And if you go around trying to accommodate what other people think you should be doing, your friends, your family, in anything in your life, not just your career. But what happens is then you end up not fulfilling what you're brought here to do. And you could be changing lives. You could be saving, like maybe you might be born to be a doctor, but your mum might want you to be a lawyer, and then the person whose life you were supposed to save, you didn't get to save because you're not living in your purpose. And I'm a true believer that no matter what and anyone says, I don't care if it's your grandparents, your siblings, your best friend, I don't care. Tell them I'm me. Because there's only one you, and there's only one me on this whole planet. And they can't decide that for you. Like no one could decide what I was gonna be. And my parents, particularly my dad works in university. When I started, he was like, "What? You want to do what?" He wanted me to, continue studying business, but I knew in my heart what I was supposed to do, and now he's so proud. Like, he comes around, travels all around the world with me, and he comes to my shows, sits front rows, takes videos, and as someone that loves music like he does, he's blown away by what I've been able to cultivate, because no one instilled it into me that I should do it. I just knew, And even when I was discouraged, I was like, okay, cool, that's your opinion, but guess what I got going on? You don't know what I know. That was my mindset. Yeah. And touch wood, thankfully, it's panned out right.
Definitely. It's definitely panned out right.
Yeah.
We heard about your show yesterday at Curve in Slough. What do you think of Slough in general?
I am honoured to be back performing in Slough. I'm very close to my family. My grandparents still live here, 5 minutes from where we are right now. And in fact, I'm going to see them after and have a little whiskey with them. But every time I come back, which now unfortunately is a lot rarer than I want it to be, because I'm always traveling for work. But every time I do come back, I see them, obviously, and my granddad watches me on YouTube every day, no kidding. So much to my grandmother's despair, because she hears my voice at all hours of the day, every day. But he loves music, and he loves, the way I sing. And so every time I go there, they're like, why don't you do anything for, in Slough with the community? Everyone always asks us, you never perform here, blah, blah, When you do perform in the UK, it's always up north or in London or whatever. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna, speak to the promoters that used to book me here, because they always reach out to me, and every now and again they say, would you be interested in doing a show this year? And I say, oh, it's a bit tight schedule. But this time I decided I want to squeeze it in. So I flew 15 hours from Japan. I did a rehearsal the same day. The next day I had a show in London, and then on what was going to be my day off, I fit the show in Slough, because it's my home, and it's the home that I knew growing up, should I say, and I wouldn't be Nate Simpson without the community that I had, like I spoke about in the beginning of the interview, that gave me my character, and so to get to give back in a sense of, doing a show which was basically next to, relatively cheap show, and to do it in that capacity is just a joy for me, for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This brings an end to our interview. Thank you so much for being here, being able to come and listen to us and give you questions.
It's a pleasure. With
such a short notice as well.
It's such a pleasure.
And thank you so much for AJ Cafe. Food provided by AJ.
Yay!